Motherhood is a part of the life, not just for you, but of your children. So the better a mother you are, the better the childhood your children will have. And I feel the better the world will be. Hi, guys. Welcome to my podcast. For this episode, I'm going to talk to you about motherhood because a lot of people are very curious and interested about this aspect of my life because they say, oh my God, Paz, are you serious? You have 4 kids. Let's make that even more complex, and I'll take you back again in history and I'll tell you about my story of motherhood. I think that all of us have our own individual stories and history when it comes to our journey to motherhood. And this is mine. And so, do you think about the same thing I do? Like when you think of motherhood, there's no real book, there's no manual, there's no directory, there's no Bible when it comes to being a mom, except for what to expect when you're expecting. But that's talking about pregnancy and the physical part of motherhood. There's no real book that kind of guides you, warns you, and helps you through this beautiful and bittersweet journey that's called motherhood. It's true. And I'm not here to give you the manual, but I do have experience. I'm not a guru and I'm not an expert in my mind because, like I said, everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own unique thumbprint DNA of motherhood. But what I can tell you are my experiences and adventures and what I know to be true because I went through it myself. Nobody tells you either that remarkable, extraordinary, miraculous feeling of just being a parent. Whether you're a father, a mother, and I need to emphasize this, good parents, because it's easy to be a parent. It's easy to get somebody pregnant or to get pregnant. We all know the science behind it, right? But to be a good parent, I find it's harder to do. It's harder to be that person rather than just be a parent per se. Because there's so much dedication, there's a lot of time you have to give. It's really a vocation. It's a career. It's a permanent promise more than any marriage because good parents will never divorce their children, will never leave or abandon their children. As far as I'm concerned, at least I can speak for myself and I can speak for a lot of good parents, thinking of my mom and dad already as the 2 people that I know being the best example. But I say this to people who are about to have children. I've said this to my husband. I've said this to my ex-husband, that you really don't know the meaning, the true definition of love until you've had children. It's an indescribable feeling that words cannot quite exactly describe. That overflow of love that you have minutes before you give birth, anticipating that baby in the moment that you have your child in your arms. And I know I'm gonna cry when I say this. I know I usually typically am a little bit tough. I'm strong. I'm a little bit badass, I would say. But when it comes to my kids, they're really my kryptonite, my positive kryptonite. Like you can just hit me in any angle, I'm not gonna give a damn. But when it comes to my kids, it's really my soft spot. I really love my kids, and I can't say that enough. Everybody who knows me know that I am in love and obsessed with my kids more than I have with any man ever in the world. And it's just a combination of love and this protective instinct. And like I said, there's no manual that teaches you how to be the perfect parent, and I don't want to be a perfect parent. No way. I want to be a good parent. I want to make the mistakes, and never at the expense of my children, obviously, but I want to make those little mistakes and maybe big mistakes, but whatever it's going to take for me to be an amazing parent day in, day out, because my sons deserve it. And so this episode is dedicated to that, about parenthood, motherhood, fatherhood, and basically what to expect is to expect nothing. It's so hard for you to understand what's going to happen even at the end of the day. So why expect? I think the number one fallibility of human beings is that we always expect. And I think once you take that off the table, you remove expectation and you just live and be present in the moment, then I think that is one of the key recipes, key ingredients in being a great parent. And so being a mother has totally changed my life. I became a mom at the age of 22. The only reason that I'm not with the father of my first child is because I was young. I say that to everybody when they ask me, oh, where is Tunito's father? It's not that it didn't work out. It's more I made a choice at a young age and I didn't even know where that came from. But I had no doubt in my head that I was going to keep my child, despite the fact that it was an option that was probably presented to other people. When you have a child young, I feel that 22 is not really that young. I know of women who've had pregnancies during the ages of 15 and 16. And I thought that to myself, if I had my first child earlier on, would I have decided to, go against it? Absolutely not. And I have to tell you, when I was that age, when I was, 22, I was a bit of a wild child. And not wild in the sense that I was promiscuous, wild in the sense that I really had a free spirit and I wanted to have my freedom and I wanted to just go out, be with my friends and just, do what typical 20-year-olds, do, just have fun, right? Without a care in the world. But then I found myself in a situation when I was pregnant at 22 and there was just 200% decision that I was gonna keep and have my child. But I could not have my child and be married at the same time. It was all too much. And so if I just had to make one decision, it was definitely, I'm going to raise this child. I'm gonna raise this boy. And so after that, I was a single mom for a while. And then I met my ex-husband and we had my second son. And very shortly after I had my second son, I also made the decision to end my marriage. It was not a good relationship for me. It wasn't bringing out the best in me. In fact, it was the opposite. I decided to raise my two boys on my own, and I was a solo mom for a long time. I had a long-term relationship after that, and I left that relationship after 6 years because it was abusive, verbally and physically, and I didn't want to raise my children around that. Fortunately, they never got to witness any of the abuse that happened here and there. Regardless whether it's minor or major, it's something that was not good for children and for me, definitely. And so despite the fact that it took a while for me to get out of that volatile relationship, I did. And I made a conscious decision to uproot my life, uproot my children's life, and move somewhere so we could have a fresh start. And that was it. The rest is history. I came to Bali in 2014 and had the dream to just start fresh and live a peaceful life once and for all. And here I am. I have my 4 sons now, and when somebody tells you that motherhood is hard or that life is hard, it's a given. It's one of the teachings of Buddha. In fact, it's the first teaching. Life is difficult. And the reason that I'm telling you that is once you realize or once you hear those words, life is difficult, it's kind of like a fact that you accept. It's not that you accept it, that you're gonna live with it and you're not going to try, but it's more like, the wall is white, the floor is hard, you know what you're working with. And so motherhood, I will not sugarcoat it for you. It's not going to be, an episode in Candyland. It's not going to be perfect all the time. And like I said, digress from the word perfect and focus more on present. It's my more favored P word than perfect. And so when you are present and you are there, then you are able to be there for your child. Everything is just going to flow. And if there's something that I can share with you about motherhood is that don't expect it to be good times all the time, but it will be good. Know that there's going to be times when it's going to be difficult and challenging, but it will pass. And everything is just day by day. Take everything one moment at a time. And the universe is not going to give you something that you can't handle. And it's actually one of the most amazing experiences in your life. Would I do it 4 times if it was so horrible? Think about it. I'm a happy mom. I love my children. I love my life because I choose to be happy. I choose to take on this role with a positive mindset. And you can do the same. So like I said, whether you're a mom, whether you're just planning on having children, dreaming about it, or whether you're like me as well, having multiple children at the same time, just realize that motherhood is a part of the life, not just for you, but of your children. So the better a mother you are, the better the childhood your children will have. And I feel the better the world will be. The more positive energy that flows through people when you go out into the world, you just pass that on and pass that on. And so I hope that this inspires you and this passes on as well, the good energy that I'm sending you. Welcome to the world of motherhood. Welcome to my world as well. And I'll see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, have an amazing day.